So how fast can you make money in real estate? Very, very fast. It's a matter of you picking the right strategy. So today I'm going to tell you about two strategies that are absolutely the fastest way to make money in real estate. The number one fastest way is through wholesaling. Wholesaling is where you put a property under contract and then you give the contract to another buyer who then is going to close on the property. That buyer is going to pay you a fee for the ability to close under that contract. You might say, well, why would they do that? Why don't they just go buy it themselves? Because it's hard to find properties that are really great deals. The hidden secret to house flipping is that it's really hard to find deals that are good enough to justify buying the house with all those closing costs, holding the house, renovating it, dealing with contractors, and then reselling the house with all the associated costs. You need about a 30% margin to do that business properly and safely. And that's tough to do. It is hard to find places that are at least 30% off of retail minus whatever costs you to fix it up. It's just really hard. So for house flippers, the biggest impediment to their business is not what you think it is. Like everybody thinks, oh, well, where do you get the money? Getting the money is one aspect of it, but getting the deal is the whole key to the business. And if you don't do that, you've got nothing. So wholesalers fill that function of finding the amazing deals. What I love about wholesaling is it's low risk because you never have to close on the property. You don't have to worry about termites or tenants or toilets or contractors or cost overruns or anything like that. You don't need to worry about raising money. You don't have to worry about getting money. You don't have to worry about taking risk of what if the market has a downturn while I own it. Doesn't matter to the wholesaler. Wholesaler gets it under contract, the piece of paper, and then assigns the contract to someone who is in the business of fixing and flipping properties. It's a great business. You can make great money, and you can make money really quickly because you get paid the minute you give that contract to someone else and give them the right to close under that contract. That's called assigning the contract, is a legal term for it. So it's a great business. What you need to get good at for wholesaling is you need to be really good at finding good deals and getting them under contract. That's harder than you might think. You've got to do a lot of advertising, anything from bandit signs, which are those signs you see stuck up on the side of the road, legally or maybe not legally, where they'll say, we'll buy your house for cash. I don't know whether you pay for houses in bananas normally, but I pay for houses in cash even if I get a mortgage, but you know the point of it. So anyway, house wholesalers are often doing direct mail programs where they're sending out flyers or letters to people that have some sign of being motivated. Maybe they're behind in their real estate taxes. Maybe they've had it's a house involved in an estate. Maybe it's a house in foreclosure. Maybe it's a house where people are getting divorced. You're kind of going into these distressed situations where owners need to sell and want to sell, and maybe either price isn't their primary goal, or maybe the house is in such bad shape that it really can't be sold through a realtor. I bought houses like that as an investor where, it's like one house I can think of I bought in Yeadon, Pennsylvania. The house was just in really bad condition. It was part of an estate. It was part of a fairly large estate, and it was like the last thing that was left. And an attorney that I knew said to me, hey, do you know anybody that might want this house? So the realtors don't even want to list it. It's in such bad shape. And I said, well, maybe. I said, let me look at it because I fix up houses and maybe I'd be interested. And so I looked at it and it was bad. And it had a leaking roof, had all kinds of damage, and it just wasn't anything that a retail buyer would want. So I looked at it and said, I'll buy it. And the guy's like, look, you can give me 15 grand for it, you can have it. I bought it for 15. The whole neighborhood, not a ritzy neighborhood by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a $60,000 and $70,000 neighborhood. And we spent about $20,000 fixing it up. So I was into it for about $35,000 by the time it was all said and done. We sold it for $65,000. It's $30,000 profit. Very good. It was great. But those are the kinds of situations that wholesalers need to get involved with. So you might be, for example, making relationships with local attorneys that do estates. And a relationship can be as simple as sending them a letter every quarter or every half saying, hey, we're in the business of buying rundown properties. If you have something that you need to move to close out an estate, give us a call. We'll give you as good of a price as we can. And most importantly, we'll get it off your hands and out of the estate quickly. Those are things that wholesalers do. Those are relationships you build. And on the other side, you're building relationships with men and women that are in the fix and flip business who are looking for deals. And you'll build up probably half a dozen buyers, find out what their criteria are, and then you'll go out on one side and market. And when you find a good deal, you'll say, hey, group of buyers, and this is usually just with a text message, I've got a property under contract that's 123 Main Street, Yeadon, Pennsylvania. neighborhood's a $200,000 neighborhood. I get this thing under contract for 50. Needs a full reno, but it's a good deal. First person to say they want it has it, and assignment happens this week, and the fee is $20,000 or whatever it is. You can get great fees, and your fee just depends on how good the deal is. You'll know what your buyers need. I can tell you for fix and flip people, they generally want a margin of about 30%. They'll settle for a little bit less. Sometimes 25% or even 20% will do it. But you're basically getting the difference between what you have it under contract for versus what they are willing to pay in their business model. And I can tell you that's typically 25 to 30% off of retail minus fix-up costs. So very easy. You get paid the minute you assign the contract. When you sign the assignment, which is the piece of paper that gives them the right to close under that contract, you give them the assignment with one hand, you collect the cash with the other. Assignment fees of $5, $10, $15, $20,000 are common. All depends on how good of a deal you do. So I like wholesaling. So if you want to learn about that business, there are plenty of people teaching it. You can get some courses, study those, learn it. It's a great way to do business, very low risk, great way to get started. And sometimes that's a way to get started in real estate, but most importantly, it is the way to make money really fast. But I've got a second way to show you a business that I'm doing that is very quick, not as quick as wholesaling probably, but it's, I would say, much easier than wholesaling. And there are more deals out there, certainly. So my business is called Overages. And what we do in Overages is we help homeowners who've lost a property to a tax foreclosure or a mortgage foreclosure get back money refunded from that sale. You might say, well, how's there a refund? How does that work? Well, here's the way it works. When a creditor forecloses, whether it's your real estate taxing authority or a mortgage company, when the property sells for more than the debt that's owed, then that extra money is available for the former homeowner. So let me give you a specific example. I had a client of mine that lost a piece of land at a tax sale. He was a developer and just never did anything with his land and eventually just let it go to tax sale. So he owed about $11,000 in taxes, and the property sold for $20,000. So the taxing authority, of course, took $11,000 to pay the taxes, but then there's $9,000 that's left over. And if you think about it, who should get that money? Should the taxing authority get that money? No, they were fully paid by the proceeds of the sale. So they deducted the money they were owed, the $11,000 for sure. But that extra money is available for the former property owner. Now, what do they have to do to get that? They have to formally apply for the money. And unless they apply, they don't get the money. If they don't apply, then the government just keeps the money. So the way the business works is you get the lists of monies that are being held. These are public record lists, very easy to get. And then you get the contact information for the people that are owed the money, and you reach out to them, usually either by mail, you might send them a message on Facebook, you may just give them a call. You reach out to them and say, hey, Fred, I'm so glad I got a hold of you. You're actually owed some money by a government agency, and our company specializes in locating these monies, locating the people, and then doing the work to get that money. So if you're interested, we're happy to help you get that money, and we work for a percentage. No risk to you. We don't need a deposit, don't need any money up front. If we're successful, we get a success fee as a percentage of what we recover. If we're not successful, it doesn't cost you a penny. And so that's the basic pitch. The basic pitch is it's no risk to the property owner at all, zero risk, which is fantastic. And nothing ventured, nothing gained. If they win with you, they get a big windfall. If they don't win, it doesn't cost them anything. So it's a really good business. The challenge in the business is just getting people to overcome disbelief because, it's like, oh yeah, I'm owed money. They are actually owed money, so you just have to stick with them. We give everybody we teach a call script, so we show you how to get through that, kind of the magic words that get through that disbelief. But it's a great business, and what I like about it is that you're not putting up money. You're not like buying the claim, you're not taking out a mortgage, you're not doing anything like that. So kind of like wholesaling, you're not putting money out. You're just working on the phone. You don't need to get an office or do anything like that. The lists are easy to get. You don't have to do like a direct mail campaign like you'd have to with wholesaling. And there are thousands of these deals out there. Every day there are about 3,000 tax sales per day. So every day the pot is added in an enormous way. There are hundreds of millions of dollars of claims out there. We have an internal database that has over 14,000 available claims right now, right this minute, and over $350 million in value in those claims. And we don't even cover the whole country. We're covering part of the country. So the point is this huge opportunity. We do dozens and dozens of these claims, but there are 3,000 tax sales a day. So I've decided, rather than trying to cover thousands and thousands of claims, that what I do is I cover dozens of claims. That's what we do. But then I teach other people how to do it because I really want people helped. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that someone loses their house, ends up out on the street or trying to make their way again, and then they don't get this money back that is generally tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes even hundreds of thousands, and people don't get the money. Like 70% of the time, they do not claim the money. And I got that because the state of Maryland did a study where they showed that on average, 30% of the people get their money, 70% of the people never do because they never apply. So I'm looking for people that will come with me in the business. I'll teach you the business. You go out there, you find these people, sign them up, get them their money, get a nice percentage for yourself, and let's go and help people. Because it's absolutely outrageous that literally hundreds of millions of dollars are being sacrificed to the government unnecessarily by people who can least afford to do this. So if this is interesting to you, then I have recorded a short introduction to the Overages Business video. It's about 7 minutes, real quick. If your browser supports it, you'll see up here a link to the video. You can click on that, or you'll always see down below this video a link to my introduction to overages. Go check that out. It's a really interesting business. In 7 minutes, I can give you the sort of scoop on how it works. And then if you're interested from there, I have a longer presentation where I get into every detail and you can determine if it's right for you. It's a low-cost business to start. It's a business where you're helping people who lost everything. And it's a business I've come to love, and I really want to bring some other people into it. Maybe you're my person. If you own a business where you help people and you can make great money, then I want you on my team. This is Attorney Bob Diamond. If you like this video, then give it a like, give it a click, and I will see you over in the Intro to Overages Business video. Just click on that link down below, and I will see you over there.